Hello, we're the team behind Elsa, the smart insulin pen. Elsa is the world's first smart end-to-end insulin management solution for diabetics. And it includes a smart insulin pen, shown here, and a companion app. So I'm Ben, I'm a senior at Penn, and I worked on the software for this project.
I'm AJ, I'm a senior at Penn as well, and I worked on the firmware and electronics for this project.
And I'm Phil. I'm also a senior here at Penn, and I worked on the electromechanical design project.
Great. So before we get to a demo, we're going to kind of explain the reason why we thought this was important. So our product's name is Elsa, and the current problems for diabetic patients are twofold, and these are the two problems that we focused on. The first is that there's a lot of non-adherence, and so what this means is that 62 to 64% of patients aren't administering their insulin as often as they should. And so diabetic patients need insulin because their body doesn't produce enough insulin, and thus they need insulin from external sources. And the second problem we focused on was the problem of imprecise injection amounts. And what this means is that diabetic patients currently must estimate how much insulin they need every time they take a shot. And so the way that diabetic patients currently do that is that they think about like what they're eating right now, how many carbohydrates are in what they're eating. They think about when they last took insulin, and they think about what their current blood glucose is. But this is not automated, and they do this completely just by thinking and estimating. And so these were the two problems that we tried to solve. So our solution was Elsa. Elsa includes, firstly, a companion app, and what this app does is it loads data from blood glucose monitor APIs, and through this data we were able to construct an always updated history of the patient's blood glucose levels. And then using this information, we can be smart about how we suggest how much insulin to inject and when to inject it. And the second aspect of our project was a smart insulin injection device, shown here, which we'll demo. And this device determines how much insulin to administer from the app, so getting the data from the app, and then the patient uses this device by clicking a button on the pen to actually administer the insulin. And then once this button is clicked, there's a mechanical and electrical system that actually injects the liquid through a syringe that we built in the pen. So next we'll show a demo. So we have a block of Jello that acts as the place where we'll inject, and we'll start with the app. So imagine a situation. Let's do it like that. So imagine a situation where a diabetic patient realizes that it's time for them to inject. So what they do is they can on this app. This is the companion app. We tell them when their last dose of insulin was, and we also show the amount of units of insulin that we recommend they inject. So currently it's 2.0, and we've calculated that from all this blood glucose data that we have. And so we've pulled all this data from the API, and we know that this is the blood glucose level of the patient over the past day or two. And you can also see the most recent doses of insulin. And so we've suggested that the patient take 2 units of insulin, so the patient can tap inject, and that preps the pen, and so you see it turn green. And now what the patient can do is they can take this pen, and you can see it's filled with insulin, and they press a button, and once they press the button, they can start injecting. And so we'll show that now. So you can press the button, and then you'll see the insulin actually being injected.